Hello everyone and welcome to the Watershed Brewery. Today we're going to be doing something slightly different. We're not going to be doing a full grain mash brew like I've done before. All you need is a fermenting vessel, a bit like this, which, I don't know, 20 pounds or something like that. 5 gallons, well maybe a little more than that, 25 litres. I've got a hole cut in the top here for the airlock, which we'll see a bit later. And what we're going to be brewing in it today is one of these pouches. This is a Mangrove Jack. And as it says here, it's a craft series brewery pouch. And this one is recipe number 12, which is a Heller's lager. And in here is everything that you need to do the brew. So they're about £20, £22, something like that. I think the beer enhancer, which you need as well, these are about £6 or £7, something like that. So they're about £30 for the equipment. But in here is the concentrated wort. They do the mash part for you and they extract all of that liquid and then concentrate, so remove a lot of the water, and you get, it's kind of like a syrup. Really, all you need to do is to mix this with some hot water, stir it all up, add some cold water, let it get to the right temperature, and then put the yeast in, and then let it ferment for a couple of weeks in the fermenter. So inside there are two compartments. So I just need a pair of scissors. I'm just going to cut the top off. So there is a wet compartment, and that's got the sticky side, so that's this back part. And in the front part is the other ingredients that we need. So these are the hop pellets. So this is for dry hopping. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It comes with the yeast sachet as well. So this one is an M54 Californian lager yeast, and the instructions. So number 1, clean and sanitize your fermenter. So that's what we've done. That's already done here. I'll just stand it up on there so you can see. That's all sanitized. So you do need to get some sanitizing fluid. I use this ChemiPro San. Remove the sachet from the dry compartment. That was what we did there. And set aside. Pour the contents of the wet compartment into your sanitized fermenter and squeeze out the remains. And now I've got to try and pour all this liquid out, this gooey muck. I'm going to get pretty messy, I think, here. So just pour all that in. In it goes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some hot water in the sachet and try and just rinse the rest of it out. So we have to add 3 litres of hot water into this. So I'm starting by just putting that hot water directly into this sachet, trying to wash out the liquid. And then I'm going to add the rest of my hot water. So you need to have 3 litres of hot water. So this helps to dissolve all of that liquid. And now I've also got to add this beer enhancer. It's a similar sort of thing. It's another concentrated sort of sugar. So again, that comes in a similar kind of pouch. And we just put the whole thing in. There we go. That's all of that in. Beer enhancer number 1. Best for boosting light beers, it says, and obviously it's a lager, so it's a light beer. Top up with cold tap water. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to try and stir and mix that in, and I've got a big plastic spoon here. So now I'm going to top it up with cold water up to my 23 litre mark on here, and I've got a big separate bucket of water that I use, which goes through my reverse osmosis filter system at the kitchen tap. Anyway, I won't show you how to do that because obviously just adding water in there is not exactly difficult. So I filled it right up to the 23 litre mark. So it's all set. Now I need to just check the temperature because the yeast pitching temperature is directly onto 23 litres of water at 18 to 20 degrees centigrade. So 64 to 68 Fahrenheit. So 25 at the moment. So that needs to cool down a bit before I pitch the yeast. I'm very fortunate in that I do my fermenting I've got an old fridge here, which allows me to control the temperature. But again, it's not necessary. Probably in your kitchen, somewhere where you're nice and where you occupy the house a lot. This could sit quite comfortably in your kitchen and ferment away at somewhere between 18 and 20 degrees. That's kind of room temperature, isn't it? So there we are. It's sitting in there now. I've got my temperature probe going in. I've got what's called a thermo well, so it's a stainless steel, it's a hollow tube with a sealed bottom, so the liquid can't get into it, but it does allow me to put that probe, that temperature probe, right down inside inside the wort, and it comes down to well over halfway, so it gets me the centre temperature of the wort while it's fermenting. So the last thing I've got to do is put the airlock in. So just push that right in, make sure I've got a good seal like that. And the other thing that I'm running is a little USB fan. You can see it on the side there, and that just helps to circulate the air inside. So that's it. I'll close the door and I'll come back when it hits 18 and pitch the yeast. So a couple of jobs to do. We're now down to 19 degrees, so we can pitch the yeast. Again, that's the 54 California lager yeast. This doesn't need to be hydrated, it just says to sprinkle it straight on the top. So that's what I'm going to do. Screw this back on. There we go, that's a lot easier. Tighten it up, so just got a little bit of sanitised water in that airlock. Put my probe back down into the thermo well, and we're done. So just give it a couple of weeks, probably not even that, a week, 10 days, and we should be done.